I pledge my faithfulness to the Niners and their Hall of Famers, for which they stand, one nation, under an empire, invincible, with 5 rings and domination over all.
I know the empire's on fire. I heard slow feet, don't eat, so I compete. Niner gang, turned up, we hard to beat. Give me a rock, keep watching the score sheet. Niner empire, we on fire, we bring the heat. Run it up, we run it up. Let's go, run it up, let's run it up. Come on, we run it up.
Empire, welcome to the 6th episode of the Niner Empire Podcast Live. I'm your host, DJ Juice, official DJ of the Niner Empire, Vice President of the Richmond chapter in California, NinersWithAttitude.com, locked in radio DJs.
What's up, Niner Empire? I'm Jamil Williams, member of the 619ers chapter, representing in San Diego, California.
Hello, Niner Empire. I'm Naomi. I'm from El Paso, Texas, and I'm a proud member of Empire Tejas, and I handle all the social media for Niner Empire.
What's going on, Niner Empire? It's your boy DJ Hype Man 49, official Hype Man of Niner Empire, locked in radio DJ, president of the PA Faithfuls. Shout out to the Hit Squad.
Good evening, all. This is Joe Leonor, founder of Niner Empire. Later on, DJ Juice going to talk about saving a date, October 18th, 2025, from 6 to 11 p.m. We're going to have a pre-party that night before the Atlanta Falcons game. Welcome.
Podcast is proudly sponsored by Gold Bar Whiskey, ShotSticks.com, and NinersWithAttitude.com. If you would be interested in becoming a Niner Empire podcast sponsor, please email all inquiries to info@NinerEmpire.com.
What's up, Niner Empire? Tampa Niner Empire and the Spartans of Florida are ready to roll out the red and gold carpet for the official Tampa takeover this weekend. It's going to be a weekend full of events you don't want to miss. Niner Empire, let's make this invasion one to remember. Here are some words about this weekend from Steven, the VP from our Tampa Niner Empire chapter.
Stephen Howard, Vice President, Tampa Niner Empire. Just want to say thank you to Niner Empire Podcast for giving us the platform to speak with you guys for a quick moment. Just want to run through a quick list of events that we have going on for you for the takeover here that we have in Tampa from Friday, October 10th through Sunday, October 12th. We welcome you guys to our beautiful city, and we look forward to putting on another successful takeover here. First of all, Friday we have the meet and greet at B4 Brady's. That's our home venue for our Tampa Niner Empire watch parties that will go down from 6:30 until midnight. Free admission. All you got to do is show up and show out. Saturday, we will also, and this holds true for the entire weekend, we will be collaborating with Spartan Empire of Florida. So we'll be putting on most of the events in collaboration with those guys. Saturday, they have both events that they'll be hosting. The first event is the day event from 12 to 5, which will be held at Delta Echo, downtown Tampa. And then they have the Saturday night event as well from 7 until close, I believe it is, maybe like 2:30. And that is at Lucky Spartan. Both venues are within 1 mile of each other. So, and I believe it's walking distance actually. So the first event is $10 general admission, and then it's $50 for general admission plus all you can drink for the entire stay. So your choice of whether you want to pay the general admission or the the general admission along with the drinks. The Saturday night event doesn't cost anything, totally free. Sunday, so they did have a change in time. We got flexed out from 1 p.m. to 4:25. So what that means is we will be tailgating a little bit later. They will open up the gates for lot 14 at 12:55. Now, we will be in line waiting between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. So we'll be there early, turning up and making sure we get set up. But the gates won't open up until actually 12:55. The game time has been moved from 1 o'clock to 4:25, which basically pushes back everything by 3 hours. So for those of you who do not want to deal with the tailgate or the actual game for whatever reason, we will still have a watch party at Beef O'Brady's on Himes. In addition to that, after the game, if people still want to hang out, we'll have people at the watch party venue at Beef O'Brady's once again. So look forward to hosting you guys. And if you have any questions, reach out to myself, Stephen Howard, Vice President, or President John Downer. So appreciate you guys. Love you. Safe travel. Go Niners. Yeah, also an update for the tailgate on Sunday, October 12th against the Bucks. We are in Lot 14. Lot 14 is free of charge. We only ask for donations, and that covers whatever food and beverages on a limited basis while supplies last. But it's free of charge, donations only.
Thank you for sharing the info, Stephen. Niner Empire will share all the info on all the Niner Empire socials. If you're going out to Tampa, tag Niner Empire socials and we'll share your stuff.
Niner Empire. Today we have a special edition of Chapter Spotlight. We're going to be talking with two of our international chapters out in the UK. Let's check it out.
This week I am taking care of this chapter spotlight for Jamil, but today we have a very, very special guest all the way from South London. I thought I was far from Levi's Stadium every game day. It takes me about an hour and a half to get to game days, but this gentleman is 5,387 miles all the way in South London. We are here with our special guest, Lawrence Lofts, all the way from London. Welcome to the podcast, Lawrence.
Hey, Joe. What a privilege to be asked to come on the show. And welcome to London. You see London looking beautiful behind you.
It looks like you got some nice weather out there.
It's been really quiet since COVID, so you might not see much movement, I'm afraid. But
is that from your part of the world? Is that from your 52nd story high-rise building that you live in?
I live. See all that beautiful there behind me. I live sort of over here somewhere. Yeah, London, beautiful city. I encourage anyone to come at least once.
You know, if you haven't seen Lawrence at traveling and everything, but we'll get a little bit into that because Lawrence is always out in the United States, and man, this boy can drink.
I could. You know, every year it just gets a little bit more difficult. But yeah, I have a great time out there. I can't wait to talk about it.
All right. Lawrence, let's start a little bit. How long have you been a chapter for with Niner Empire?
You know what? It was just our 8th anniversary on Monday, I believe, or possibly Sunday. So September 20, I looked it up, September 22nd, 2017. We were looking, me and my guys were, we were actually out in Las Vegas for the Canelo versus Triple G fight. And we wanted to watch an NFL game on the way home. So San Francisco was the city of choice. And that's when we met you. I don't know if you remember, Thursday night game, 0-2, the pretty sparse crowd. And I told all my friends how exciting it was going to be. I was telling them all about this hot new star we had, Solomon Thomas. I said, this guy, I said, you just watch and sit back and relax and enjoy the show. I said, there won't be many points in this game. And anyway, it turned out it was 41-39, one of the best games. One of the best games I've ever seen. Now, I was with 3 friends that time. One of them absolutely hated it. It's not for everyone. But some people just don't get it, do they? It's like any sport. Some people. I went and watched baseball last week for the second time, and I'm like, what am I doing here? But yeah, two of them really loved it. I got really drunk. I met you. The last thing I saw of you was getting packed into the back of a van, and I genuinely thought, well, we'll never see him again. I remember Monica was not best pleased. Yeah, we had such a great time, and when I woke up the next morning with a very sore head. They were telling me, well, you remember you were telling him you were forming a chapter and you were going to be the London representative. And I was like, did I? And they said, yeah. Now, one of the things, if you get to know me, Joe, one of the things I do, I make a lot of drunken promises but if I make them, I'll stick to them. So I said, you know what? We'll stick at it. So we haven't looked back. We've been coming back ever since. No one can ever accuse us of being bandwagon jumpers, because the first couple of years we came were absolutely appalling. We went through. We had to go through the Nick Mullins era to enjoy what we're seeing now. And we've generally come back 2 or 3 times a year since. We do what we can. I've just come back from a trip to New Orleans, which is fantastic. I'll be in the Bay for the Falcons game in 3 weeks, and then we'll be, three of us will be in New York on the end of October. So yeah, really, we're a small group. We're an active little group. We're really focused on getting out to as many games as possible, spreading the word over here if we can, and yeah, it's just a privilege to be part of it. I think one of the things the thing that attracts me to this is the fans. It's you know,
100%.
Players come and go, teams change names, move locations, but the fans stay. And you know, from dot one, and I'm not going to make you blush, but from dot one, meeting you and then meeting some of the characters over the years who I'll probably touch on later, but that's what comes and goes. And one of the things my late dad always used to talk about was, he always talked about the 3 F's. Family, friends, and Fulham, which was our football team over here in England. And luckily, I've kept that spirit going. But I've managed to add a 4th F, the 49ers. So it's about the 4 F's now, and you can add as many F's as you want. But I don't know what time it is over there, so I'll leave that to you. But yeah.
Let me ask you that. Let me ask you that. Are you saying it was like kind of like first love at first sight, you and I? Or was that the alcohol talking?
You know what, and I think we touched on this just before we started. Was how did I get to know you? And you were a hard man to find. I remember we'd been to tailgates on the East Coast. We'd gone to the East Coast of America before, and it was very corporate. If you wanted to go to a tailgate at MetLife Stadium, you could find one straight away. It was like, I think I had to go on the dark web to find you. And literally just before the game, I found a site, and I spoke to Monica, and I remember I met her, and she was so excited. She was like, "Joe, these lunatics from London, what are they even doing here? They're so far from home."
Did you use your crypto? You use your crypto to find me?
Well, you know, I do remember it. It was a strange start, because one of my friends, he'd never been to anything like that, and we walked into this sort of dusty car park. He's like, "We'll be in San Francisco." Well, not quite. It's like, "Well, where are we going?" And it was all of that type of thing all day. But you know, we had such a fun time, and I think because it was a relatively small crowd that day, I think the stadium was only half full.
Right.
But you know, the tailgate was more enjoyable, if anything, because we got a lot more attention. So yeah, we never looked back. Certainly, I think, like I say, I've been to other sporting events, etc. But this one really grabbed me. And from coming back, I think, like I say, we went to 2 games the year after, lost them both. We plugged away at it. The next occasion I went to was the draft in Nashville, when we drafted Nick Bosa, and that's when I got to meet you know, some amazing characters. Unfortunately, some characters who we've lost, and you know, it's been a sad time for the Empire. You know, characters like Fireball and Marcello, and you know, I could tell you in the short time, my boy, I could tell you 1,000 stories from 5 years of knowing him, and I guess he was like that to everyone. So yeah, we miss him so much. We talked about I if I could tell one story.
Yeah.
The first and possibly only time I've nearly fallen out of my bed, it was literally about midnight UK time. It was raining, so I'm in my back room in bed watching the Niners beat the Commanders, I think it was. I don't know if they were still their old name at the time, but it was Washington anyway. And it went to a commercial break, and the Thriller music started, and I'm just there with a bag of crisps watching, and the thing I see is Cello.
There you go.
The most bemused audience, and I literally ran to my phone. I was like, "Did I just see what I saw?" Cello, you're so missed, and your spirit lives on. We'll keep it alive.
One of the questions that comes up a lot because we know football is very popular. How did you become a Niners fan?
Well, you know, it's a strange route. I'd love to say I was born with a red and gold spoon in my mouth. I wasn't. You know, growing up in the 80s, we used to get 1 hour of NFL on a Sunday between 6 and 7 on Channel 4, which was one of the smaller channels at the time. We used to get 1 hour, and it was a week old. So it was the previous Sunday's games you'd get highlights of. And I'm trying to think of the first teams I ever saw. I remember seeing the Bengals play. The first team I remember ever seeing play, and I saw their kits. So I thought, oh, they look really, really, really nice. And then the first thing I saw of the Bengals was getting thumped by the 49ers in the Super Bowl. And then the next characters, I remember seeing John Elway's debut for Denver, and I thought, oh, God, wow, he's so cool. And then the Niners thumped him. So at the time, I was like, if you can say a lot of things about me, but I've never been a bandwagon jumper. So the Niners just seemed like an indestructible force at the time. So that wasn't really what attracted me to them. Like I say, it was coming over when they were terrible.
Right.
and meeting the fan base. I'm very, like I said, we've said, for me, it's very much about the fans, and I just loved the way that even though the team was pretty trash, 9 or 10 years ago, the fans still had the utmost confidence in them and used to take over stadiums and take over drives. So that's when the love affair starts. So we're quite proud of the fact here in the London chapter that we supported them when they were useless. and everything now is a bonus. If we come and they got thumped, obviously we wouldn't enjoy it, but we still have a great weekend.
100%.
We've been all around America, and my friends who don't understand the game as much, I remember sitting in the blazing sunshine, 4 gingers trying to cope in the Tampa sunshine, and we were getting thumped, and Nick Mullins was terrible. And I was trying to tell my friend, well, if we keep losing, we get this guy called Nick Bosa, and he's really good. And my mate's like, I have no idea.
Like Solomon Thomas.
He's like, no, he said, did you say that about Solomon Thomas? I said, forget about him. This guy Nick Bosa is going to be the business. So my whole reputation relied on him being good. So I've got a lot to owe him for. But yes, so it's been quite the journey for us, because we, like I say, the team was trash when we first started watching them. My friends didn't really know much about American football, but they've really got into it and embraced it. And we've got a chat group. We're constantly talking about it. We're just a part of. At the time, I remember Lee will tell you, I've got a knocked off version of his flag somewhere. I went online and thought, I wonder if there's any UK 49er flags, and it turned out Lee runs this amazing chapter in the UK with thousands of members, and he does a lot more work than I could ever dream of doing. So I know Liam.
He's actually going to be our next guest as well, so I'm glad you.
So I'm his warm-up act.
Yeah, you're his fluffer.
I'm his fluffer. No, Lee's a great guy. Talks a bit funny, but for anyone who doesn't know, the UK, if you imagine Game of Thrones, I'm the Lannister family, the royal family here down in London. Lee's like Jon Snow up in the north, with all the wretched hive of humanity up there. But no, Lee's a fantastic guy. He does bleed red and gold.
He's going to be on.
Myself.
Yeah, he's going to be on next.
Yeah, Lee and Paul and all the guys, they're fantastic, and they do so much. They do so much work, and I've hopped off the back of them from time to time. They put a lot of work in with the organisation themselves about getting events over here, etc., etc. And like you say, when I first started making big promises after a few drinks, I started dreading the thought of a London game, because I thought, everyone's coming over expecting an introduction to the king, and they think we're going to have hot air balloons over Buckingham Palace. But that it's comforting to know that there's a lot of other people as well who will be here. But yeah, no sign of a London game just yet, but you never know.
Well, there's one more question I have, but before I get to that last question, one of the things why we started our other segment, Anatomy of a Tailgate, because you mentioned about the tailgates and me bringing other guests from other NFL teams and talking about the tailgates. Because you like you said, when we're trash, it's all about the tailgate that we remember. So
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons.
totally.
One of the biggest things that is hard for people to understand on this side is your time difference.
Yes.
So
Yes.
are you able to get together with other groups? How does that work out there when you're on, when there's a TV game?
There's a couple of layers to this, Joe. We'd never be allowed to tailgate in the UK. We just can't behave ourselves. You try and put a bunch of Millwall and West Ham fans in a car park together, it wouldn't work, trust me. You can't really put them in the same vicinity, so we all have to stand behind fences and shout at each other, waving fists. I really think they should try that at a 49ers game. Just have all the Rams fans down one end and us all waving fists at them. So it's a different makeup in that sense. In terms of getting together, yes, it's difficult. I got asked a week or two back. There's people over in London, they were hoping they could hook up and all that. Game starts at 9:30. I got work in the morning. It's difficult. We do get together. Obviously, the 49ers seem to do an annual get together now, and that's fantastic.
That's
the way
very
it's
cool.
very, very, very polished, and we understand. We're the overseas fans, so they like that overseas money, so they're trying to get us invested. So we enjoy them coming over. We've done events for the Super Bowl. I've had my heart broken twice by the Chiefs at events we've organised. Like I say, it's difficult. We're 8 hours in front of you. We get the odd game at 6 p.m. where we could do stuff, and we'll look to do stuff. But otherwise, it's like a Thursday night game. It's a 1:15 start our time in the morning. So you watch the game.
One night you jumped on a Zoom call with us and you had your pillow and you're laying on your pillow like this watching the game.
I've given up all pretense of yeah. If you want me to come to your meetings at 4 in the morning,
definition of pillow talk.
You're going to see me in my true form. In fact, that's a screenshot of me with my eyes open. I love catching up with the guys. And I think during COVID it was difficult. We really missed coming over, so that was tough for everyone. But yeah, we're open to ideas. We are limited in what we can do, obviously because of the time scales, and it's Sunday night for us, so it's difficult. But we're always open to doing a bit more. Like I say, most of the games start. It's well because the NFL is becoming a much bigger sport over here in the UK, but it's still not the main thing. The Premier League is pretty much everything in terms of sport over here now. So Sunday is filled up by that. So it's difficult to find somewhere always that's showing the game. Or if they do show it for you, they'll put it on a little TV for you, which is not the best party trick. But it's difficult. But we can always look to do more.
All right, Lawrence. Well, you are coming for the Atlanta game. We are hosting a party the night before.
In my honor, or
oh, of course. I mean, the game. We're gonna have you dressed in the Game of Thrones coming out on stage.
Do I get to walk in? I'll open the curtain and come
Absolutely.
in. Who's that? Is that German guy? They'll say, yeah.
But we.
If I get called Mike
go ahead.
I was going to say, if I get called Mike once more, I'm disowning this team. Mike in Germany, I love you, but I'm not Mike. I don't look like Mike. I don't talk like Mike.
Well,
so
just know, Lawrence, that people that I've met, you've had amazing things to say about you. We love when you come out here. We're excited to see you when you come out here for the Atlanta game, and we appreciate you representing Niner Empire all the way out in London.
It's a privilege.
One last thing. The other night, Lawrence shared a video of him going viral. He was singing some song.
I don't really want to talk. Want to talk about it.
So one of the things I wanted to let you know, and he sent me this video, and he goes, "Joe, I went viral." And so if you don't know anything about Lawrence used to be a professional boxer. And I told Lawrence, I said, well, thank God you're not a singer, because I think you got hit way too many times in the head after watching that video.
Yeah.
your voice was a little pitchy, dog.
What was more painful to watch? Me getting beaten up or me singing in front of a load of people half my age?
No, I think you
Equally
singing
painful.
because you had the courage to get in there and get beat up, but I think you're singing. I mean, thank God you had the background.
I wish I'd got that many views when I was fighting. If anyone wants to follow me, Lawrence Lofts on TikTok, available. Oh, I should point out, so we are on Facebook, my chapter, the London Niner Empire chapter. We used to be called the Jimmy G unit.
And that was like the Solomon Thomas unit.
Yeah, I was quite happy to change that name. I fell quickly in and out of love with Jimmy, and I was quite happy to change the name. So if you look up From London to the Bay, the London Niner Empire chapter, we're here on Facebook. And obviously anyone, if ever they need any advice or anything just about coming over this way, always happy to help. And yeah, like you say, Joe, I'm very flattered that people enjoy my company, and I just want to thank everyone who's watching. The hospitality we receive is what keeps us coming back. I always remember that draft in Nashville when I got invited to the tailgate party out in a field in the middle of nowhere. And at the time I'd only been over a couple of times, and I'm walking towards this field, big voice in my head going, what are you doing? What am I actually doing here? I'm so far from home. And I got in that field, and none of people had ever met me. And the welcome I got from everyone, and I was saying, oh, let me go and get some drinks. I'll people like not letting me buy a drink and not letting me buy any food. Long may that continue. But it's just the warmth of people who I've met and I still meet, and it was great to meet up with people in New Orleans. So no plans to stop visiting. We're already looking at next year and things we can do. Obviously, we're coming over for the World Cup with England anyway, because we're winning the World Cup next year. If you didn't know already, if you didn't know already. In case you didn't hear me, England are winning the World Cup next year, and we will hope. I'm not sure. I know there's some games in the Bay. I don't think we'll be playing over that way.
Well, you might need to hit the lottery in order to afford those tickets.
We're already working on that. It's hard work. Right. Hence why you'd see me traveling all around the world with England, just so I can hopefully get a cheaper ticket come game time. But so you'll be seeing more of us next year, both with England and the 49ers. So we can't wait.
All right. Well, we love you, Lawrence.
Thank you.
And for that, I'll see you soon, bud.
Cheers, Joe. Nice seeing you, mate.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to our second person for our chapter spotlight. You think Lawrence had it far? Well, this gentleman is a little bit closer than Lawrence. This gentleman's 5,162 miles to Levi Stadium. So we are happy to have Lee Gallen for our 49er faithful out of the United Kingdom. He's obviously been a group before. He'll get a little bit into that. He's obviously, when we have our Zoom meetings, Lee's jumping on at wee hours in the morning with this pillow by his side, just like Lawrence and everything.
Yeah.
Lee, we are so happy that you're able to join us as well. Thank you for being on with us.
No problem. Over the moon to join Joe.
It means the world to be able to connect with fans all the way from the United Kingdom. And, when you come out here, you always have a home as well. So
yeah, that's great. That's great, and it was great to see Lofty just before we started recording there. It's a while since I've seen him, and I look forward to meeting up with them a little bit later in the season when the 49ers come over, and the 49er organization comes over to give us a watch party in the UK.
Yeah, so you guys call him Lefty, we call him Lawrence, but he said he's your fluffer for this episode.
Yeah, that sounds about right from Lofty. Yeah, that's all he's good for, really, fluffing.
Pretty much. All right, let's talk about how you became a Niner fan way out yonder.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting story. It's an embarrassingly interesting story. So back in the late 70s, early 80s over in the UK, there was a program on our local TV stations called World of Sport. And on that program, there was a 5-minute segment every week for World Sport. And I recall seeing this game against the the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. And I think the only reason they showed this particular game was because the program, Dallas, with J.R. Ewing, Bobby Ewing, that was popular in the UK. So they showed the Cowboys and the 49ers. And what struck me was the red and white jerseys, because my soccer team is Sunderland, now a Premier League team, I'm happy to say, and they're playing red and white, and they had these gold helmets on. Well, when I saw this for the very first time, I was only maybe 6-7-year-old, and I thought those helmets were actually made of gold, and I just thought, wow, that's cool. That's got to be my team. So that was way back in 79 or 8. I can't remember which one it was. So what I had then, I had to struggle to actually watch the game because it was never on in the UK.
Right.
Every now and again, you would see it advertised, or you would see it highlight for 5 minutes on a program called Trans World Sport, which is what World of Sport was showing. So I had to make do with listening to Armed Forces Radio to listen to the game.
Wow.
And basically read a UK-based NFL magazine called First Down. It wasn't until 1984 when Channel 4 started. That's right, our fourth channel in the UK, because we only had 3 TV channels before that. And they started showing American football. But the thing with that is they would show it a week late. So last Sunday's games, we would get this coming Sunday, and it would be a 1-hour show, and they would only show highlights. The very first live game was the 1984 Super Bowl with the Washington Redskins, I think it was.
Wow. I mean, the amount of effort you put in to hear a football game way out there on the radio is just,
Yeah.
I mean, that shows faithful right there.
So interestingly, I listened to it on Armed Forces Radio, and Armed Forces Radio was the American Armed Forces Radio. Well, it wasn't UK. And I joined the Armed Forces when I left school. So I joined the Royal Corps of Signals. I wasn't in particularly long, to be honest. I kind of panicked just before there was a cutover between it being able to leave free of charge and to buy yourself out. So I kind of panicked and said, yeah, I want to leave. What I hadn't realized is we were based just around the corner from Menwith Hill, and the Americans have a big base there, right? And you'll know who 49ers Mark is.
Yes.
49ers Mark was on that base exactly the same time I was on that base.
Pretty cool.
And I only found that out 2 seasons ago when we just happened to be talking, and I asked what he used to do in North Yorkshire. And his response was, well, I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you. So as soon as he said that, I said, you were at Menwith Hill, weren't you? And he just smiled. He says, yeah, I was a janitor. Let's leave it at that.
Wow. That's very interesting. Yeah. Wow.
Small world.
Very, very. One of the things that I noticed, obviously having a fan chapter out there, you have board members, correct?
We do, yeah.
You have several board members.
Yeah, so at the moment we've got 14. So I've got 14 people to help run the fan chapter, and what I've tried to do is make the admin team as diverse as possible. So we've got younger people, older people, male, female, different walks of life, and it's all to give different opinions when there's any sort of conflict within the group. So we have a side group away from our main Facebook group for the admin. So we'll all discuss issues in there. If somebody reports a post or we think there's a little bit of tension, we'll take it to one side, we'll discuss it as an admin group, and then we make a decision collectively. And then it's not on one person to do it. Because when I took over the group, it was essentially me and one other person. And everybody affectionately calls me El Presidente now. And that's because of a chance meeting with a couple of New Orleans Saints fans in Edinburgh in 2019. So they were on honeymoon, and it was the 49ers Saints game, the one where George Kittle was dragged down by like 4 people.
Oh, we all remember that one.
Yeah, great game. And while we were watching the game, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go and buy them a drink. So I bought them a glass of champagne each with it being their engagement. The wedding anniversary. No, honeymoon, get it right.
Right.
And I thought, how can I explain to them what I do? Because I only saw myself as an admin, the same as everybody else.
Right.
Yeah. I don't like the fact that you single somebody out as being a little bit more important than anybody. So I always say I'm just an admin of the group, same as everybody else. But because I was talking to these two from New Orleans, I thought, how can I convey what I do within the group? And I know the American fan chapters have presidents and vice presidents. So I just happened to say to these two, nobody else, that, oh yeah, I'm the president of the fan chapter. I hope you enjoy the game tonight. And we'll love to have you at any game that you come back for. So they'd happened to mention it to somebody, say, oh, yeah, your president's just bought us a drink. So once one of our other members found that out, that's it. From that day onwards, they all call us El Presidente as a term of endearment, to
That's
be honest.
funny.
I found it embarrassing to start with, but I like it now. I do. I kind of like it.
And
now.
you're being humble because the amount of work that goes behind this, and we kind of talked before this, the amount of work that presidents or whatever that, the
Yeah.
board members put in is amazing. And it's you being humble as well. And the fact that you're all the way across the world and you're putting stuff together. Now that we talk about that, putting stuff together, I hear the 49ers have been working with overseas chapters a little bit and everything. And you guys have something coming up soon, correct?
Yeah, that's right. So we've got a watch party coming up for the game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So this will be the fourth watch party. The 49ers have fourth regular season game watch party. The 49ers have thrown for us. And we've kind of solidified our connections with the 49ers since 2015. So I think you probably remember the fan engagement manager before Nick, so Brandon Marino.
Mm-hmm.
So I first started talking to Brandon back in 2015, and then it wasn't long after that Nick came in.
Right.
And obviously I started talking to Nick. I was supposed to meet him in 2017 when I was across, but he had a family emergency. But that kind of snowballed a little bit more. We kept in touch quite regular. He did us a lot of favors for watch parties that I arranged, what we would call meetups rather than a watch party. And obviously once the UK got the marketing right, then it was pretty much every other week we were texting each other about ideas for how we move the group forward, how we take advantage, how we exploit the marketing rights in the UK. Right. So I've done a lot with the 49ers over the years. I've gone out and scouted venues for them. When they wanted to have a watch party, they've asked us to go down and have a look at a particular venue, thinking that's on my doorstep, but I actually live a 3-hour drive away from London. But they said, oh yeah, can you go and have a look at this venue? I said, well, yeah, but it's going to have to be on the weekend. Right. I can't just drive 300 mile and then back again. I mean, that's a 6-hour round trip. At least a 6-hour round trip. It's more like an 8-hour round trip. But yeah, we've kind of kept very close. To the point of I consider Nick a very good friend of mine now.
Right.
And that has continued with the new fan engagement, although she's technically international marketing manager. That's her role title. So me and Rocky, we've been talking about this meetup since May. So as soon as the schedule came out, that's when we started talking about which games were possible for this meetup.
Well, hopefully one of these days we get to go have a game out that way.
I'd be over the moon for that. So that game, if that happens, we are going to be in the same position as everybody from the US. So we won't get any preference for tickets. So we'll have to go into the general queue. I kind of had a little bit of a misunderstanding with Nick back in 2022 when I came over for the draft in Vegas. And I'd asked him, I said, look, it looks like the 49ers might be coming over this season. If they are, can you sort us out group tickets? Because I'd love the group to sit together. Right. He said, oh, yeah, no problem. So I thought that was done. So it got to the point where it was just about to announce who was playing. And I just quickly messaged him and said, right, do you want to set up how we get these group tickets now? And the reply I got back was, oh, no, you can't. If you want to sit together, you have to enter the normal general sale like everybody else. So I'd been telling everybody, don't worry about your tickets. We're going to get group tickets together. I'll get all the money and I'll just...
I got it under control.
And then, yeah.
El Presidente. Well, look
yeah,
on the bright
these little
side.
things.
Look on the bright side, Lee. We both know Lawrence, lefty. He'll just find us
Yeah,
a way to sneak in.
yeah.
That's how
So
those
we can
jokers
all
from
stay.
South London do it,
Yeah,
right?
we can all stay at Lofties. Well, that's how England fans do it. They just storm the gates at Wembley to get in.
There we go. One of the biggest things you kind of mentioned it earlier, the time difference. Like,
Yeah,
how do you manage watching games because of your time difference? What you guys are 8 hours
yeah. 8 hours ahead. Yes,
ahead?
8 hours ahead. So there's two things. I mean, obviously, a prime time game, we have to get up at 1:15 in the morning to watch that, and it doesn't finish till like 4:30 in the morning. So you manage to get 2 hours sleep before you go back to work. So there's generally two things you do. One, you either go to work, sleep, tired, or two, you take holidays. So this year, because I'm pretty much on site every day, I used to work from home a lot, which made it a lot easier, but I'm on site every day now because of the work I'm doing. So I've had to take 7 days of my annual holiday as nights
Wow.
after primetime games. So we've got the 5 primetime games that we're going to be on late. So we call them the red eye game. And then I've got the day after the watch party because that's down in London. So I'm not going to be able to get back home on the night. So there's 6. And then I always go up to Falkirk once a year to watch a game with a bunch of friends. So that's another Monday I need to take off work. So 7 days of my annual leave I take for the 49ers, purely for the 49ers. Now, if you also add in the fact I'm going out there for the Panthers game, there's another 6 days on top of that. There's 13 days of my annual holiday
I'm
I've
sure
taken.
your family's real happy for that, aren't they?
Yeah, when they speak to us.
That's why you got your own little 49er room. Lee, get in your
Yeah,
room. I don't want to talk to you.
yeah, that's what it's like. It's exactly like that.
Um, One other thing. Okay, being a group, how long have
Yeah.
you been a group, and then how long have you been a chapter with Niner Empire?
Yeah, so the group started back in October 2010. So it's almost our 15th birthday. And we became a member of Niner Empire back in 2022. So it was the end of the year. It was actually not long after I met you. So I met you the day before the Miami Dolphins game, where Brock Purdy came in to take over from Jimmy Garoppolo. We were down in, I think it was Milpitas, where there was a
Bill
John
Peters.
Chapman. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah. So it was not long after that that we became an official chapter.
Perfect. Well, just to let you know, we're very happy to have you guys part of our family and everything. So,
I'm over the
and you've
moon to be
always
part of the
joined
family.
us. You know, it's one of the things I want to throw out there too, because I know you guys work really hard on it, like our Niner
Yeah.
Empire podcast. You guys have your own podcast as well. What do you guys talk about? What days are on? Where can we find it?
So we do a twice weekly podcast and a once weekly live. So we do a review and a preview show, which we send out as a podcast, but then I also edit it as a video, put onto YouTube. And on a Wednesday night, we do a live show. Now, the live show, we tend to stay away from talking about the games because that's what the podcast is there for. So we'll talk about other stuff, transactions, coaching changes, different stuff about the actual organization. Whereas the Monday night is always the review show. Thursday night is always the preview show. So literally within an hour of us finishing tonight, I'll be doing a preview show for this weekend's game. Which is unfortunate that we have it on a Thursday night because you don't have the full injury report. So we're doing
Right.
it a day early. So we haven't to kind of guess. But we made a decision that everybody likes going out on a Friday night. So we were going to do it on Thursday night instead. So we do it 3 times a week during the season. You can get our podcast via iTunes, Spotify, Google Play in the US, any sort of podcast broker. You can get it from that. I generally upload to Podbean. That's our main our main hosting platform, and then that just basically fires out to all the other different platforms. And then on a Wednesday night, it's YouTube. So 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night in the UK would be midday over in California, so 12 noon, which is perfect for people who have that 12 noon to 1 o'clock dinner hour. They can watch or jump on. We do get quite a few people over in California who watched the show. Little shout out to Red Jet Shell. She's East Bay, and she watches every time we're on live.
Very cool. I think it's kind of good that you don't mention the injuries right now, because you might have to have your own podcast just about injuries with the Niners.
Yeah, well, funny enough, I mean, that's what we had our show about last night. So we concentrated on the Nick Bosa injury, went into who could potentially be a trade target, whether or not we did need a trade target. And that kind of took up a full hour of the live show. And it was a different way for me to break the news about the watch party. So last night I was basically breaking the news about the venue, where the venue is. The week before, I broke the news about the date and the opponent and the host city. So the next thing I've got to do is the alumni that's coming over. So at the moment, other than yourself and Lofty, who I told just before we started recording, nobody else knows who the alumni is.
I'll keep my mouth shut. I'm
Thank you.
excited for you guys. I'm really excited for you guys. I just can't say how thankful I am for you guys to be representing Niner Empire out there. What's the easiest way to find you on social media?
So we've got three main social media channels. We've got Instagram, which is at 49er Faithful UK. We've got Twitter, which is the same, at 49er Faithful UK. We've got a Facebook group, which is, believe it or not, 49er Faithful UK.
Wow, original.
Yeah. We've also got, obviously, the podcasts and the YouTube channel as well. And what we have started last season was a Discord channel. So we used to have our game day thread on Facebook, but then Facebook screwed up the chronological
right
order. Yeah. So you couldn't really follow it properly. So we've gone over to Discord, and it's proven to be quite good.
Okay. One last thing, Lee. We know for England folks to be big drinkers.
Yeah.
Give us your beer of choice.
Oh, me beer choice. Okay. So when I was last over in 2023, I did like a beer called Space Dust. The only problem with that is it's brewed in Seattle.
Oh, forget it.
Brewed in Seattle.
Like
so that kind of
Starbucks
put us
stuff.
off a little bit. But my beer choice would probably be a Belgian beer called Leffy Brun. And it's about 6.7, 6.8% alcohol. So it's a strong beer.
Okay.
Yeah. To be honest, I love Anchor. I wish they'd sort out the factory and get it up and running again. But by the sounds of it, the guy that's taken over, he's going to outsource the making of Anchor Steam beer, and he's not going to fire up the old brewery, which is a bit of a shame.
All right, well, if we find any bottles, we'll send them out to you.
Oh, I would very much. Well, you can see just over. I've got the
Right.
Christmas sales there. I absolutely loved those.
Well, Lee, we thank you for being part of us, and thank you for being on the show.
No problem.
I thought it was important that we start highlighting our chapters out overseas and everything.
Yeah.
Just to give you guys that love and let you guys know. And like I said earlier, when you guys come out here, please let us know. We'll definitely take care of you all.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. That'd be brilliant, John. Thank you for having us on the show.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Lee. Appreciate you, bud.
Cheers.
Say thanks to the UK chapters for spending some time with us. We'll take it to the next segment with final thoughts.
Empire, that's our show. But before we get out of here, we got to make sure that you also watch our Niner Empire affiliates, Whistle Gang podcast with Ferb, P-Man, The Fan, and Monty every Wednesday and Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Also, be sure to watch the Hypecast with my man, DJ Hype Man 49, the official Hype Man of Niner Empire, 1 hour after every 49er game for immediate after-game reactions. Also, like Joe said earlier, the official pregame badge for the 49ers versus Falcons game is going to be Saturday, October 18th from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. at the Fremont Clubhouse, the same place we've done it the last few times. So check all our social medias at the Niner Empire for all the info. We'll be posting that every day leading up to that. We would like to thank our special guests, our chapters from beyond the pond on the other side of the pond, Lawrence from the London chapter, Lee from the 49er Faithful UK. Be sure, like I said, to follow the Niner Empire on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. If you're interested in being a sponsor like Gold Bar Whiskey, Shotsticks.com, and NinersWithAttitude.com, be sure to email all your inquiries to info@NinerEmpire.com. If you're looking for a place to party with fellow faithfuls during the game when you're out of town, go to NinerEmpire.com/chapters. If you're looking to start a chapter on your own, go to NinerEmpire.com, follow the instructions. Thank you for watching. Signing off for Joe Jamil, Naomi, and Avery, our producers behind the scenes, Brian and Paulina. I'm DJ Juice signing off. We'll see you next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Go Niners.
Niners.
Let's go.
Y'all know the Empire's on fire. I heard slow feet, don't eat, so I compete. Niner gang, turned up, we hard to beat. Give me the rock, keep watching the score sheet. Niner Empire, we on fire, we bring the heat. Run it up, we run it up. Let's go. Run it up, let's run it up. Come on.